So let's take a moment and talk about this subject, that we are not just simple bodies built on biochemistry. From the time that we're very young, we are indoctrinated into this idea that we have to take some kind of pill in order to improve our health. Now, there's certainly nothing wrong with vitamins and getting great solid nutrition. We need that, and we should supplement where necessary. But in the case of pharmaceuticals, these are not things that we want to live off of. Maybe it's okay to use pharmaceuticals in an emergency. That's a choice that every individual might have to make, but we don't want to depend on drugs to support our blood pressure or health of our liver or anything else for that matter. We want to look at natural options and choices. And so when we are on this path to looking at how we can improve our health, we should stop and think for a moment, how does the body really work in the first place? Well, as it turns out, it is the biophysics of the body, the bioelectrical and biomagnetic systems that control the biochemistry. So while we can certainly improve our health with proper nutrition and exercise, drinking plenty of water, and taking health supplements where needed, what's really orchestrating everything in the body is an energetic system of energy production and communications. And so if we can understand how this works and how we can tap into it, then we can create technology to improve our lives more quickly and effectively than ever before, and do it in a manner that is safe and that works in harmony with the human body. So we're going to be exploring that over the next few minutes. So let's take a look at it. So we're going to talk today about how we are beings of light, how we are made up of energy. And this is not going to be anything esoteric. This is going to be rather hardcore into the science behind how the energetic systems control everything that goes on in the body. Now, as a frame of reference, X39 and our other LifeWave patches use very low levels of light to cause biochemical changes in the body. So X39 and LifeWave is a form of light therapy. The way X39 works is that you apply the patch to a point on the body, such as behind the neck or below the belly button, and the patch is going to stimulate the skin with very low levels of light in the infrared and visible spectra. In science, this is known as photo-biomodulation, and the common example of this is that sunlight causes the body to make vitamin D. You go out in the sun and UV light causes the body to make melanin, give us a tan. Melanin is an antioxidant. So there's many examples of how light causes the body to change the biochemistry. And it doesn't just stop with those examples. So it is actually remarkable the depth at which the body uses energetic systems to control the chemistry. The DNA itself, which is a helical coil, which controls and contains magnetic fields, it emits highly coherent pulses of light, very similar to what a laser light would be like. And it does this for communication. So in other words, a pulse of light comes out of the DNA And this causes a biochemical change in the body. The cell membrane contains fats, and of course, fat is an insulator. And the cell membrane separates charges. So we get positive on one side, negative on the other. And this separation of charges creates a total net charge around the cell membrane. What does that mean? It means that the cell manipulates electrical charges through electrolytes like calcium, potassium, magnesium, sodium. And then, in effect, the cell functions as like a battery or a capacitor. It holds a charge. So we can describe our cells as being a living battery or a living capacitor, storing electrical energy. In electronics, we have something called an inductor, and an inductor is simply a coil of wire. And the inductor holds a magnetic field. And this is used in electronics in timing circuits, amongst other things. And the DNA is a helical coil, and it's able to hold and discharge a magnetic field, which is useful for a number of things. It's used in cell replication, among other things. So one of the most important things that cells do, which is divide and make new cells, part of that process is controlled by magnetic fields. The body uses light and bioelectrical current to send information in the body. Now, we use our brains to think about moving our arms or our hands. And that's from an electrical impulse traveling from the brain through the nervous system to cause very, very rapid muscle contractions throughout the body, in the arm, the forearm, the hands. That creates this movement. The meridians in the body don't work on the bioelectrical system at all. Instead, they conduct infrared light, and they conduct the infrared light through electrolytes in collagen threads or collagen fibers throughout the body. So our bodies literally have fiber optic cables that are composed of collagen protein and electrolytes. And this is part of our information system. As a matter of fact, the fiber optic system that we have in our bodies is much, much faster than the electrical system in our nervous system. And this was measured by Joey Jones, a biophysicist in California. Using what's called the squid magnetometer, we can measure enormous magnetic fields around the heart and around the head. And in fact, in healers that practice hands-on healing, Qigong healers, quantum touch healers, the magnetic fields in their hands are thousands of times stronger than an average person. So these are some practical examples of how the energetic system in the body is having an enormous impact on who we are. Okay, let's talk for a moment about Fritz Popp, because he is the one that discovered that all living cells and that human beings, human cells, emit light. And these are highly coherent pulses of light that come from the DNA. So in other words, if you take a room that is completely dark and you use what's called a photomultiplier tube, you are able to see these light emissions coming off of cells and coming off of the human body. So essentially, Fritz Popp discovered that we are beings of light. Let's